Are we expecting to get an announcement on Bruce today, do you feel?
That is the question, Hayley, that everyone is asking today, and I suppose everyone has been asking all weekend really as well, people wanting to know what the future lies for Steve Bruce. As you said, Amanda Staveley, the head of the consortium that have purchased this football club from Mike Ashley on Thursday, arrived here at 12:15 to meet Steve Bruce in person for the very first time. Originally she'd planned to meet him on Friday, the day after the takeover went through, but there was a schedule in place for the players' training already, and due to the fact that it's international break, the players had Friday off, so she didn't come up here as scheduled on Friday afternoon, having visited the stadium for the first time in the morning. Instead, she went back to London, spent the weekend with her family, and has travelled up this morning. So yeah, we expect her to meet Steve Bruce. In fact, she'll probably be meeting him as we speak. Training should start round about now, round about 1 o'clock. And she'll meet the players as well. We heard that she spoke to Jamal Lascelles on Thursday night on the phone very, very briefly, just minutes after the deal went through. I think she'll hold a short meeting with the players, obviously speak to Steve Bruce and the backroom staff, and then I think we'll be able to find out a little bit more as to what the future holds for Steve Bruce. It's my understanding that he will be relieved of his duties, whether that is today or tomorrow, but I don't expect him to be in the dugout for that first match under the new regime on Sunday against Spurs. Of course, a match that you can see live on Sky Sports. But Steve Bruce arrived here at 11 o'clock this morning to take training as planned at 1 o'clock. Amanda Staveley and members of the consortium arrived at 12. They'll all be meeting right now in the training ground behind me, a training ground that needs a lot of work done to it. When she spoke last week, she described the condition of it as awful. So I think one of her priorities is sorting out this place. Her immediate priority right now is deciding the future of Steve Bruce.
What do you think the plan is if Bruce does leave? And are they working on it already, do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been working on it over the weekend. I don't think they were working on it last week. I think their priority was just trying to push the takeover through after so many near misses over the last year and a half. I think that was the main priority over everything. I think only once she's got her feet under the desk will she then look to the situation with Steve Bruce. Hence why we're standing here on Monday and no decision was made on Steve Bruce either on Thursday night or Friday last week. I think that's been a little bit of a surprise to many of the supporters who thought that would be the very, very first thing she did. I think what she wants to do is she wants to meet Steve Bruce in person first, and I think that says a lot about Amanda Staveley. She didn't want to just phone him up on Thursday night and say you're no longer required. She wanted to meet him face to face and do things properly. With regards to who's going to take over longer term, Hayley, it's a different situation now. When she tried to take over the club 18 months ago, they had plans in place to have Rafa Benitez as the manager. They had some backroom staff lined up and also an idea of who they wanted as a sporting director. Due to how quickly things went through last week, they don't have the same plans in place, so they're very much starting from scratch again. It's a completely different world now 18 months now than it was 18 months ago, so I don't actually think they've got anyone lined up. I'd imagine some exploratory calls are already being made to agents and managers to see who is available, who'd be willing to come in. There's a man at the club already in the shape of Graham Jones, who is first team coach under Steve Bruce. He didn't arrive actually with Bruce and his backroom staff when Bruce took over just over 2 years ago. He actually came just at the start of the year, at January, at the start of 2021. So I would expect that if Bruce is relieved of his duties, as I think he will be, there is a good chance that Graham Jones, because he arrived separately from the rest of the backroom staff, will be asked to take over in the interim period before they bring someone permanent into the club. Of course, Graham Jones, you'll remember, in the summer was with England at the Euros and is a very highly regarded football coach. There's a decent chance that Graham Jones could be in the dugout on Sunday for that first match under the new regime at St James's Park against Tottenham.
Do you think any of the new Saudi owners are going to be at the game at St James's Park on Sunday? What do you reckon?
Yeah, Hayley, I think the plan is for the new chairman, or the non-exec chairman, should I call him, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, to be there on Sunday. Certainly plans are afoot for him to fly over from Saudi Arabia to be at the match on Sunday. I think he wants to take it in, get a taste for the club and just see what the challenge is ahead. I'm not too sure with regards to who else will be there. I would imagine there will be people who fly over with him, but since being named as the new chairman essentially of the club on Thursday. I think he wants to be there, and the hope is to have him here in place to be in the director's box on Sunday for that curtain raiser against Spurs. Of course, Amanda Staveley and the other parts of the consortium, the likes of Jamie Rubin, who will have a 10% share alongside his brother, will be there as well. It's the start of a new dawn on Sunday. They'll all want a little slice of the action, and they'll all want to see what's to come for the future. But I suppose in terms of picture and in terms of an idea of what's to come, it'll be really interesting to see Yasser Al-Rumayyan sat there in the director's box on Sunday. Of course, a director's box that Mike Ashley for a long time now hasn't been in, as he's been pretty much of an absent owner until, of course, he sold the club on Thursday, finally, after 14 years at the helm. But Amanda Staveley in the training ground behind me right now, speaking to Steve Bruce, speaking to the players about her visions for the future. We'll be able to hopefully tell you a bit later on today, perhaps into tomorrow, what the future holds for Steve Bruce. But I don't expect him to be in the hot seat come Sunday.